known by many as the Lord of Hunger. This story of Darth Nihilus is one wrapped in darkness and mystery. No one truly knows where this person came from. Alive during the time of the Mandalorian Wars, he was originally born a human, just as any young soul trying to survive the galaxy with his family, but the galaxy was a harsh place. The final battle of the Mandalorian Wars took place in 3960 BBY. The General of the Galactic Republic, Mitras Surik, gave the order to activate the Mass Shadow Generator. This weapon was designed to use the natural generation of mass shadows and use that power to completely annihilate planets. And it did just that, destroying nearly everything in or around Malachor 5. By some chance, Nihilus came out of this ordeal alive, and as a means of survival, along with a result of grief, he adopted a dark side persona. His emotional pain was so great that his grief turned into emptiness, and emptiness into hunger. Without thinking, as soon as he came across another survivor, he drained their life force onto himself, killing them. While this experience was unpleasant for Nihilus, it suppressed the hunger and pain he had for a short moment. But he would soon learn that this would not last for long, and his hunger returned stronger than before. The more he fed on survivors, the shorter the satisfaction would last, and the hunger would come back stronger each time. 4 years later, in 3956 BBY, Sith Lord Malak was killed and the Jedi Civil War concluded. With many factions of the Sith turning on each other for power, a Dark Lord by the name of Darth Treya discovered this man. She had sensed him as a wound in the Force. Treya would take the mysterious individual to her planet, an academy, where she would learn the ways of the Sith alongside another student. Nihilus and the other student would focus on different aspects of the Force until they became powerful enough to become Sith Lords themselves. This would be the moment that the two would take on their new identities. Nihilus was Judas's name, which would also mean the Lord of Hunger. The other student would be known as Darth Sion, or the Lord of Pain. When Treya first brought Nihilus with her, she did see his power to be a possible threat to the Sith's ultimate goals. Nevertheless, she would train him to control his hunger and power, as she had promised. His power would become so great that Nihilus could eventually drain an entire planet of their life force from outer space. He did this many times, caring only about satisfying his hunger, each time letting the dark side consume him more, continuing to increase his hunger and dramatically raise his power, eventually surpassing his master. Sion and Nihilus had a similar view on how they wanted to deal with the Jedi Order: complete annihilation. While Treya wanted a slower approach, the relationship between the three of them was already strained, but this was the breaking point. In 3955 BBY, Nihilus and Sion would confront Treya in her own academy and attempt to kill her. With the combined force of Nihilus and Sion, they cut Treya off from the Force and exiled her. With Treya gone, the Sith had no defined leadership and the factions soon went into chaos, again for control of what power was left. During this time, Nihilus and Sion went on to destroy the Jedi Order, both on their own terms. Sion would locate and kill as many Jedi as he could find, while Nihilus created the ship known as the Ravenger. He would locate Force-rich planets, then travel to them to drain their Force essence so he could satisfy his hunger for a little longer. Both Nihilus and Sion were successful in becoming the dominant power in the galaxy. 4 years after Treya's exile, Nihilus and Sion would take control of the Sith Empire. Over the years, Nihilus would become so consumed by the dark side that his physical body would begin to erode. Knowing he did not have much time left, he had to do something. To prevent death, he ripped his spirit from his body and submitted it into his armor. At this point, he would let the dark side consume his body, being only a mask and robes that gave him shape, continuing to rule the galaxy and consume life. Nihilus and Sion would continue to train Sith assassins and marauders from the Treyas Academy. They would spread death throughout the galaxy and turn many Force users to their cause. In 3952 BBY, Jedi Master Artrus organized a large gathering of Jedi on the planet of Qatar. Most of the remaining Jedi were expected to be at this meeting. After organizing this event, Artrus leaked the location of the meeting to the Sith. She was attempting to draw out the Sith Lord so she could destroy him. Her plan worked in drawing out the Sith, but backfired completely when he arrived. His power and hunger destroyed most of the Jedi Order and population of natives on the planet. Artress actually did not even attend the meeting herself. After draining the planet, Nihilus descended onto the surface, finding only a single living being, a native Merkula woman named Visas Mar. He took her to his ship, and days later, the woman awoke fully healed. When she approached the dark entity known as Nihilus, she asked why she was spared. He did not answer, but instead showed her a vision of the galaxy and how he saw it, stripping the Force from all living beings, plunging them into chaos. In this chaos, Nihilus saw order, as did Mar, thus becoming his apprentice. They both developed a powerful Force bond, and that allowed them to either support or even weaken each other in battle. Nihilus ended up allying himself with the leader of the Separatist Alliance, General Vaklu. His main goal for them to assist in the transition of the planet of Onderon from the Galactic Republic to the Separatist Alliance. Onderon's moon was home to the ancient Sith tomb of Frida Nad. The tomb contained a dark energy nexus that held a great power in the dark side. Going back to the final battle of Malachor V, after Mitra Surik activated the mass shadow generator, she cut herself off from the Force and was cast into exile by the Jedi Council. This event was so appalling that Surik herself became a wound in the Force. It is unknown what she did with her time in exile, but it is known that Jedi Master Artress orchestrated her return from exile in another attempt to lure out the Sith. Following her return to known space, Mitra Surik would encounter a former Sith Lord, Darth Traya, who at this point was also in exile and returned to her Jedi name of Kreia. Kreia would train Surik against the Sith, while Surik would search for remaining Jedi to help her take down the Sith. Eventually, Nihilus sensed a disturbance in the Force that only his apprentice, Visas Mar, could locate. Appropriately, she was sent out to destroy the source. Upon encountering Surik, Mar would be defeated by her, and then would question the vision that her master showed her when she was first introduced. Surik persuaded Mar to go against Nihilus and serve the Jedi. Concurrently, Nihilus and his crew would continue to consume worlds. While Nihilus was out on his expeditions, Mitra Surik traveled to the moon of Onderon, where Nihilus had set up a base. A group of Sith were performing a ritual on the planet that would sway the ongoing battle on the planet to their side. Surik was successful in eliminating all of the Sith members in the temple, but not before they could complete the ritual. A massive battle erupted on the planet's surface, which caused Mitra Surik to travel down to Isis and protect the Queen of Onderon. The palace was invaded by Sith and Separatist forces, but Surik managed to turn the tide of the battle when she killed the Separatist leader, General Vaklu. After this battle, Nihilus was informed that there was a Jedi Academy on the planet of Telos. Without hesitation, Nihilus and his forces traveled to the planet. Upon arriving, the Republic Navy, along with the assisting Mandalorians, was waiting to ambush Nihilus's fleet. Unfortunately, Nihilus realized too late that this academy was a ruse set up by Kreia to draw him out. Telos was never a planet rich with Force sensitives, but his crushing hunger caused him to attempt to consume Telos anyways. During this, Nihilus's ship was boarded by Mandalore and his troops alongside Mitra Surik and Nihilus's former apprentice, Visas Mar. The Mandalorians would go about the ship, strategically planting bombs on the hull, while Surik, Mar, and Mandalore went to confront Nihilus. When they arrived, Nihilus attempted to draw on Surik's Force energy, but failed as a result of Surik's ability to also draw on the Force of those around her. They engaged in a short duel, where it seemed that the Dark Lord would be too strong to defeat. Nihilus stunned Surik, just about to finish her off, but Mar offered her life to Nihilus, to show devotion to him. This made Nihilus hesitate just long enough for Surik to recover. Mar then upset the bond between her and her former master, weakening his connection to the Force. This final act allowed the three who confronted Nihilus to finally end his rule. Shortly after leaving, Nihilus's ship, the Ravager, would be blown apart along with the entirety of the Sith's fleet, although Nihilus's spirit was able to survive inside of the mask. This mask ended up being taken to the Sith homeworld of Korriban for burial, where it would remain for centuries. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. I know it was a little bit shorter. I could definitely go into more detail about Nihilus because he is a super cool character. So if you guys would be interested in that, be sure to let me know. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.